What's going on, everybody? I am back with yet another video, and this video won't be any different from the previous one I left a week ago. So in this new video of mine, I was going to be talking about the movie Precious. It's none other than that embarrassing, frightening stories told around the campfire PTSD movie, Precious. I mean to say Precious. I haven't seen it more than once since its debut years ago in 2009. And to be honest, I think it should have just stayed a book, really. This girl was 16 years old, pregnant by her very own monster-ass father, who later died of AIDS, towards the middle part of the movie, for the second time. The second time her father got her pregnant. Way to go for the writing. 16-year-old Clarice Precious Jones can neither read nor write and suffers constant abuse by the hands of her vicious, demonic mother, Mary, played by Monique. Who, by the way, I can't stand on and off the screen, to be honest. The demons really let their hair down in this movie. They really did. The movie was supposed to take place in Harlem around 1987, right? And oddly enough, it's the latest in a string of bad things happening to Precious, including her mama saying, "Make me feel good, Precious. But I gotta go to school, mama. Please, no, you gotta stay here. Make me feel good." Now this is sexual connotation, physical child abuse, sexual child abuse, because they cut from Precious being in the room with her mother, basically giving fellatio before she got to go to school. So that's another thing that stayed in my mind for nearly 12 years. I can't get that out of my head. They didn't show the sexual act, but you already know if you got a brain and you can connect the dots, you'll know that something went quite right there. So the mother was abusing her as well as the father, who passed from HIV. So, but getting back to the story. Another thing I want to touch on is that Monique always sounded like she had been running a 10K marathon. Like every time she talked, she just talked like this. Even when she talking calm, she talked like this. Like she just constantly out of breath. And don't get her to get mad. In fact, actually, when Monique get mad, she sounds, clearer. She sounds very clear when she get upset. Some people just got that nasal passage talk. Now, the principal at her Harlem school arranges for her enrollment at an alternative institution, and though her mother would rather she apply for assistance, Precious grasps at the offer for a better future and a better herself. This damaged teen is starting way from zero, and I'd rather watch 5 of these Lord in the Rain movies back to back all day long if I have to, than watch Precious a second time since it came out in 2009, like I was saying earlier. Oh man, demonic need to lay on somebody's church altar floor. Monique need to get her demons purged. I mean, because in real life she suffer all kind of setbacks and all kind of traumas that nobody else don't have. She act like she the only person that was going through stuff. And I really didn't like the whole dragging Lee Daniels and Monique and Tyler Perry. It's other big name powerhouses in Hollywood that she could have easily named. One is Harvey Weinstein. He was in control of a lot of big name movies, and he owns the Weinstein Company. Didn't call him out. Call out the right people. Don't just focus on somebody that look like you. Call out the right people. You got Harvey Weinstein. You got a whole bunch. But getting back to the story. I mean, to be honest though, Monique was just awful in this film, throwing frying pans and a 200-pound TV at her daughter downstairs as a word of kindness. And of course, this wasn't a horror film at all. Of course not. It wasn't nothing bad about this. Something's not clicking upstairs in Lee Daniels' head to direct this movie. He's insane too. And believe it or not, Lee Daniels is not above cutting from an image of incestuous rape to a shot of greasy pork sizzling on the stove. Her father treats her like a piece of meat, get it? So Lee Daniels cutting the scene of the supposed incestuous rape, and then he pans a shot to greasy pork sizzling in a pan. So basically he was trying to say, well, her father treats us like a piece of meat. And it gets worse, much worse. I'm really not shocked about the profane language Monique was using in this film, because that's how she always is in her stand-up routine. So if you ever seen some of her comedy back in 2014 and 15 when she did stand up, she went to an all females prison and she was performing in there. And of course she was the same, her mouth was the same toilet stool mouth like it was in this movie. So I wasn't surprised about that. I wasn't even taken aback about how she was talking because I'm used to it. She had been talking like that all her life, you know. And during her stand-up career, she was just always mouth almighty, you know. And I just really don't like when children are used as decoys to lure movie audiences into a trap. Because remember when Precious baby finally arrives from the hospital, and this is a newborn baby, had to be by a day or two old, she was forced to depend once again on her toxic disaster of a mother Mary, which at one point throws the newborn baby on the sofa. I remember seeing that. You know, and I was just so upset. I said, oh man, this is going too far. I was forever done with that film after that. I couldn't watch it no more. Alfred Hitchcock and Stephen King should have directed this film because it was shot of a bad horror film. You know, the ones you remember since childhood days? Yeah, those. Precious for me was the new Freddy Krueger movie. After seeing Precious, you walk away feeling battered and empty, as if, much like the movie's protagonist, you've just been abused. When a movie ends, it has become a story of an obese teenager who will soon pass away from AIDS. She's as screwed and doomed as she was when the movie begins. That's hope? Just a straight up M. Night Shyamalan's worst ever twist ending. And most films have a redemptive or a redemption story to it. Not this one. There really was no redemption at all in this film. None. I'm sorry, some stories simply don't deserve to be told, and this miserable, bitter, cynical story is one of them. Precious was too much for me, and I was priceless wrong. And thanks for taking the time and watching this video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, like, share the video. Until my next installment, peace and have a good one. Later.